My name is Sam, and currently living in the outskirts of Ravenswood. The incident happened to me and my friends. Without wasting time on small talk, I'm getting straight to the horror of that day. Please overlook any mistakes in the details. The year was 2016 or 17. I do not remember the exact date on the calendar. It was a day in November. That day, a local tent revival was organized by the community church in our area, and it was held in the market grounds right next to our house. Let me mention that the incident happened in my hometown, which is located in Blackwood County. On the day of the incident, my 4 friends and I finished dinner just after dusk and went to our market square. After wandering around for a while, we sat down in the crowd of thousands at the revival grounds. It must have been 10 or 10:30 on the clock. Then one of my friends suggested stepping out. Since we had been sitting for a long time, we thought, let us take a stroll outside. So we all left the revival grounds and entered the market area. From that time, 2 or 3 of us were used to smoking. Since we were known as good kids in the village, we did not dare to smoke in the market area. We told one friend to buy cigarettes, and we came out of the market and asked him to come there too. After a while, my friend arrived with the cigarettes, but since there was a revival that day and people were moving around everywhere, we could not smoke anywhere nearby. As a result, we all went to my uncle's abandoned farmhouse. I say abandoned because the construction of the house was not finished yet, and the work had been stopped for about 4 or 5 years. Moreover, we used to hear enough ghost stories about that house. Anyway, we reached the house and we all went up to the roof. We decided to sit there for a while after finishing the cigarettes. The half moon was visible in the sky, and since it was November, there was a misty vibe, so nothing was clearly visible. After sitting for a while, I noticed that from a broken wall on one side of a house next to this building, a girl came out. Suddenly noticing it, I got a bit startled and told the others, "Look, who is that?" They said, "Where? There's no one." I showed them clearly. The matter came to their notice too. Then one of them asked, Who is there?" Hearing the question, the girl went back the same way she came through that broken wall. We were not too surprised because we knew there is a crazy woman in that house. Maybe she came out. We decided not to take the matter seriously and leave from there. No sooner said than done. We moved a little forward from there and decided that we will not go to the revival anymore. Better than that, we had an old apple tree at our house, so we would steal some apples from there. I also agreed because it's our tree, who will say anything. Thinking this, when one of my friends was about to climb the tree, we noticed someone walking from a distance with a heavy-duty flashlight. We thought, whoever the man is, after he leaves, we will continue our mission. Thinking this, we started walking in the opposite direction of the man along the road. But we noticed the path we are taking, the man is also following us on the same path. Being annoyed, we entered a dense thicket located right in front, which is called the patch in our area. The patch was about 2 or 3 acres large. It was so covered with wild brush and vines that it remained dark even during the day, and people did not go there very much. In that very thicket, someone had committed suicide by hanging from an old oak tree. It is said that the sound of crying would float from there at night. So finding no way, we entered that thicket. As soon as we entered, it seemed like we had come to another world. The place was comparatively colder and pitch-black darkness all around. The most surprising thing is that the patch was surrounded by dense brush on all sides. A bone-chilling cold wind was blowing continuously there. Entering the woods, we sat on a high dirt mound for a temporary time.
After sitting for a minute, I told them, "You guys stand here, I am coming from the bathroom." I went just a few steps away. After 30 seconds, I told them, "Let us go, let us get out now. The man might have left." But there was no sound from anyone. I was surprised and started looking around for them. There was no sign of anyone nearby. Pitch black darkness all around. I pressed the phone button and saw the phone battery was dead. Back then, I used a flip phone, which had no flashlight. After searching for about a minute, I got annoyed and said, "Fine, you guys have your fun. I'm going my own way." Saying this, I kept trying to turn on the phone repeatedly, and with the faint light that appears when it turns on, I somehow got out of the thicket like a blind man and came home from the front side. Let me tell you, my house is not very far from there, and the back part of the patch could be clearly seen from my house. I was about to go up to my house. Just at that time, my eyes fell on that back part of the patch, a little to the west of which was a creek. I saw 3 to 4 people walking towards the creek with lights. Thinking they were my friends, when I was about to step towards them, right then 4 or 5 of my dogs surrounded me. They started barking. No matter how much I tried to go forward, they surrounded me just as much, as if saying, "Whatever happens, we will not let you go there." After a while, the lights suddenly vanished. Then I got a little scared and came home and went to bed. Let me mention, on that side of the creek, there are 2 dead pine trees at a distance of 40 to 50 meters. It is said that a massive shadowy figure stands with 2 feet on those 2 trees. At night, if someone goes to pick up pine cones, hearing them fall, they find a human skull in their hand instead of the cone. We heard that many people have had such experiences. Anyway, I was lying down thinking, could they do this to me? There can be 1,000 ways to prank, but what kind of prank is this? Thinking all this, a little later, I heard a call. Yes, it was my friend's voice. After calling 3 times, I answered. "Yes, tell me. Did you come home?" "Yes, I came." "Okay, let it be. See you tomorrow." The next afternoon, as soon as I met them, they started beating me severely. Before understanding anything, I said, "Why are you hitting me? You guys should be the ones getting hit. Do you not remember what you did?" They said, "We did it, you did it to us." Unable to understand anything, I asked, "What did I do?" Then one of them said, "Listen then what you did. 20 to 25 seconds after you left, we told you we are going towards the creek. You come quickly. At most 30 seconds after this, I saw you were not behind. We started walking back to find you. We saw that the man who had followed us stopped under that pine tree with his light. A little later, he vanished along with the light. Seeing this, out of fear, we searched the whole thicket thoroughly, but we did not find you. Finally failing, when we were about to get out of the thicket, then a huge branch crashed down in front of us, making a loud noise. The elders said if any branch or tree falls in front like this one cannot go under or over it, either go the opposite way or go around it. We did not have the courage to go the opposite way because those twin pine trees are in that direction. We started praying whatever we knew, but could not find the courage to go forward. After a while, suddenly the branch straightened up. I saw 2 people passing by the side. We got courage and ran out of there and went to your house and called you. I was surprised and said, "You guys came back after 30 seconds, and I searched for you for a minute. According to my calculation, we were in the same spot, and we were supposed to meet. But in reality, we never met. I still could not solve that calculation. Anyway, that day, it was decided that we will not stay out late at night anymore. Exactly that night, my girlfriend messaged me and said she is in a lot of mental distress due to family problems and wants to meet me. Unable to explain to her in any way, I decided to go to her house.
Although I remembered yesterday's incident, I did not dare to call my friends because they clearly forbade going out at night. To go to my girlfriend's house, I had to cross the creek. Although the water was low in the creek, then one had to cross by boat. There was a rope stretched from this side of the creek to the other, and the boat had to be pulled along that rope to cross. I went alone near her house around 12 at night. I was standing and talking, consoling her. From where I stood, the creek could be clearly seen. I was talking to her, looking at the creek. Just at that time, I saw a man climb down the bank into the creek. In the pale moonlight, the shape of a human was clearly visible. Getting into the creek, the man dove into the water. I am looking and talking. After a while, suddenly, it seemed that the man who dove did not come up. There is not even a sign of him. I thought maybe something happened to the man so he could not get up from the water. I should check the matter, but it is not possible to take my girlfriend along. So, sending her home, I started walking in that direction. After advancing a little distance, it seemed if something had happened to the man, he would have splashed or struggled, but I saw no such thing. Then, am I walking on the wrong path? Yes, maybe I am walking on the wrong path. Yesterday's words suddenly shook my head. I did not find the courage to go further. I changed my path and started walking towards the dock. There is no boat. Someone took it to the other side. Only one way, at this late night, calling friends. Thinking a lot and finding no way, I called them to come. After scolding a bit, they said everyone will come together. Until then, I have to stay alone. Since there were a few houses right above the dock, I was not feeling too scared. However, the old graveyard was right next to it. Whenever my eyes fell there, my body would shudder. After 15 to 20 minutes, I felt the presence of friends. They got on the boat and started pulling the rope. I breathed a sigh of relief. Coming to this side, they said to me, "Get on the boat." I got on and they literally started scolding me. I explained the whole situation to them and told everything, but they lacked a lot of belief. They explained to me that it is a mistake of my mind. A hangover from yesterday still remains. I accepted the matter because all the friends who were in the boat, we were all very brave. We all have the habit of walking alone past graveyards or cemeteries at night. Suddenly, in the middle of the creek, a little far from us, there was a loud sound in the water. We all looked. Then what I saw still floats in my eyes. A huge wave was created in a circular area with a radius of about 10 feet, and there a massive black object is dancing under the water. It seems someone has let their hair down and is floating in the water. We all started praying whatever we knew, and 2 or 3 of us started pulling the rope so we could reach quickly. Finally, reaching the bank, we all ran home in one go and spent that night together. We did not share this incident with anyone because if they knew at home, our going out at night would stop. Still, when we go home, we all sit under that pine tree or on the bank of that dock at night and hang out. But such an incident never happened again. This was the incident that happened to me and my friends. Maybe I could not write it in an organized way. I do not know how scary the incident is, but we still talk about that incident. I am Isaac Carter. My home is in the rural outskirts of Blackwood Parish in Louisiana. I am currently working as an accountant for a local firm. Let me give a little description of our house. There is a vast swamp right next to our house. It is used for farming when the water recedes in the dry season and remains submerged during the rainy season. My father and uncles are 5 brothers and 2 sisters. The incident happened to my grandmother's younger brother. His name was Arthur. We used to call him Uncle Artie. My grandmother's childhood home and our house were in neighboring counties, and in those days, our household necessities could not be found without going to the trading post on specific market days. My Uncle Arthur used to trade at a place called Miller's Creek. One had to cross the big river from our village to get to that market. One had to go by river route and walk a long way, too. Anyway, let us get to the incident. The incident happened in the 1970s. My father was very small then. My grandmother took my father to her father's house that day, meaning my father's grandfather's house. Meanwhile, my grandfather told them, "Come back early tomorrow morning. We have to harvest the crops." Grandmother said yes and left. Going to her brother's house, father played with everyone. When evening came, he insisted on hearing ghost stories from his Uncle Arthur. He reluctantly agreed and started the story after finishing dinner. Uncle Arthur is speaking. "Listen then, this is not a story. It is a true event that happened to me. Your grandfather sent me to the market that day to buy a fishing net. They say the nets at Miller's Creek are very good, so I went out in the morning. I had to walk from home to the levee. From there, by boat, I went to the market and bought the net. By the time I bought the net and came out of the market towards the river, the sun was already setting. I got on the boat left. The weather was beautiful too. The sky was clear. Coming on the boat, I got introduced to quite a few people. Talking about this and that, the boat arrived at the dock. By the time we reached the landing at the levee, dusk had fallen and the light was gone. Getting off the boat, everyone started walking towards their destination. Since everyone's house was in the same area, after walking 2 or 3 miles, almost everyone went to their respective homes. Finally, there was one person with me. When we reached near his house, he said, "Brother, stay the night at my place. Go in the morning." It is good to remember that to come to that grandfather's house from there, we would have to cross the dried riverbed. Although there was no water in the river then, occasionally there would be little pools of water, and winter crops were planted in the riverbed. No, brother, I can make it. There will be no problem." The man insisted a lot on staying and told me that various dangers could happen in the riverbed at night. I did not pay heed to his words and bid him farewell and left, and that decision was my biggest mistake. Then I was alone. Pitch dark night, the whistling sound of the wind. The wind brushing against the tall crops planted in the riverbed created a strange atmosphere. It was around 10 o'clock at night. I was walking very fast. After walking for a while, I saw a pale white horse eating the crops. I said to myself, people planted these crops with so much hard work, and which fool has left this horse loose here? It is damaging someone else's property. Then there was no fear in my mind at all. Anyway, after a while, I saw 2 more horses eating crops in the same way. I got very angry at the horses, but what could I do? I was alone. If I went to help the farmer at night, I would be very late. I started walking again. Coming forward, I saw many more horses eating crops in the same way, and the distance of these horses from me was much less than the previous ones. As the horses were a bit closer, I noticed the horses are eating crops, but there is no damage to the crops, meaning it is seen that they are eating, but nothing is being destroyed. Then a suspicion arose in my mind that this is not something normal. Maybe something bad is going to happen to me. I immediately lit a cigarette and started walking fast. I knew these things are afraid of fire, but lighting the cigarette did not make any change in the horses. I kept walking and looking back in fear, saw the horses were coming after me. Then I really got very scared. I increased my walking speed more and noticed the horses also increased their walking speed. Then I could not think what to do. It seemed maybe today is my last day. Why did I not listen to that man and spend the night at his house? What is the use of thinking now? Around me, at the bottom of the riverbed, there were patches of water here and there, and deep water in some places. The next village from here is also quite far. Even if I run, it will take 10 to 15 minutes. That is not possible. My death is certain today. But running out of my mind for the love of life, I started running, and the horses also started running after me at the same speed. I am running for my life, and the horses are coming to take my life. I started praying whatever came to my mind and kept running, but I noticed the speed of the horses and my speed were equal. In reality, this is not possible. Horses can run several times faster than humans. I could see death in front of me. The scariest thing was the horses were running while staring right at me. After a few minutes, I saw a flash of light in front of me. With the plea to live, I ran even faster, aiming for the light. And going near the light, I saw it was a lantern on a boat. The boat belonged to some drifters.
Going near the boat, I shouted for help, and a man came out of the boat. He pulled me onto the boat. As soon as he pulled me onto the boat, the horses came and stood near the boat, their eyes glowing like fire, an angry look on their faces. And the most surprising and terrifying thing happened then. A voice like a human floated from inside the horses. They said to drop me on the bank. The man did not agree. Anyway, after an argument, at one point the horses went away from there. I was on that boat that night, and the next morning I came back home. Saying this, Uncle ended his story. Brother, this is a true incident. The place where this incident happened is a river shoal.